Ladies and gentlemen, football just reminded us why we love it so much. June 29th, 2026. Houston, Texas. NRG Stadium. The round of 32. Brazil versus Japan. On paper, one of the most one-sided matchups of the entire knockout stage. On the pitch, one of the most nerve-shredding, heart-in-your-mouth, dramatic finishes of this entire World Cup. And it was Gabriel Martinelli, coming off the bench, who broke Japanese hearts in the 6th minute of stoppage time to send the 5-time world champions through to the last 16. 2-1 Brazil. But my word, did they have to sweat for it? Let's set the scene first. This match came packed with backstory. Carlo Ancelotti, the most decorated club manager in the history of football, is living his first experience of a major international tournament as a national team boss. All the pressure, all the expectation of a nation that hasn't won this trophy since 2002, sitting squarely on those experienced Italian shoulders. His Brazil came into this game on brilliant form. A draw against Morocco followed by dominant 3-0 wins over Haiti and Scotland. They topped Group C and looked every inch like a title contender. Japan, on the other hand, were exactly the kind of opponent you don't want to face in the knockouts when you're feeling confident, organized, disciplined, dangerous on the counter, and with absolutely nothing to lose. Now let's talk about those lineups, because the team news tells a story of its own. Ancelotti sent Brazil out in a 4-3-3 with Alisson Becker in goal, Danilo, Marquinhos, Gabriel Magalhães, and Douglas Santos forming the back four, Casemiro and Bruno Guimaraes at the base of midfield with Lucas Paqueta as the number 10, and then Ryan and Vinícius Jr. flanking striker Matheus Cunha up top. Notably absent was Rafinha, ruled out through injury, a real blow given how important his creativity and dead ball delivery has been. Neymar, Endrick, and Gabriel Martinelli all started on the bench, which in itself tells you how ridiculous Brazil's squad depth is. Japan lined up in their trademark 3-4-1 under Hajime Moriyasu. Zion Suzuki in goal, a back three of Takehiro Tomiyasu, Shogo Tanuchi, and Hiroki Ito, with Ritsu and Kito Nakamura as the wing backs, Kaishu Sono and Daikai Kameda as the double pivot, and then Takuma Maeda and Junior Ito supporting lone striker Ayasu Ueda. The major absence for Japan was Takefusa Kubo, the wonder kid they call the Japanese Messi, ruled out after picking up a knee injury earlier in the tournament. His absence was enormous because Kubo is the one player in that squad who can create something out of nothing at the highest level. The first half was, frankly, not what Brazil or their fans expected. Japan came in tight and organized, pressing high and refusing to give Brazil's technical midfielders any time to breathe. Paqueta was invisible, Cunha was isolated, and Vinícius Jr., for all his brilliance, was being marshaled brilliantly by Japan's back three who had clearly done their homework. Brazil had nearly 80% of the possession in the opening 10 minutes and produced almost nothing meaningful from it. And then came the moment that sent shockwaves through that stadium. 29th minute. Danilo plays a casual, underhit pass in his own half that had no business being that slow or that short. Kaishu Sono, who had been quietly, brilliantly influential all through the midfield, pounced on it like a cat. He then did something that looked almost disrespectful. He just glided past Casemiro. Didn't even need to work that hard. Casemiro, the experienced Real Madrid veteran, was simply too slow to the challenge, and Sono burst into the space, looked up, and drove a right-footed shot from the edge of the box that flew past Alisson and into the net. First World Cup goal for Kaishu Sono. Japan 1, Brazil 0. The stadium felt almost silent, and suddenly the unthinkable was on the cards. At halftime, Paqueta went off with an injury, another blow for Ancelotti, who hadn't been happy with what he saw from his team in that first 4-5. This was Brazil's biggest test yet at this tournament, and they had failed it comprehensively for the opening hour. Endrick came on at the break, and the tactical shift was visible immediately. Brazil started going more direct, using the pace of Vinícius and Ryan in behind Japan's high defensive line. The equalizer came in the 56th minute, and it came from the most unlikely source given how his night had gone. 2 minutes earlier, Casemiro had somehow missed a sitter, his close-range header bouncing off Tomiyasu, then off Suzuki, then back off Tomiyasu again on the goal line before being cleared. The groans around the stadium were audible. But Casemiro, to his immense credit, didn't hide. 2 minutes later, Gabriel Martinelli drove in a cross from the left, and Casemiro arrived at the back post with a powerful, well-timed header that left Suzuki with no chance. He roared with relief. Redemption, in the most dramatic fashion. 1-1. And then, just 2 minutes later, Vinícius Jr. nearly made it 2 with what would have been the goal of the tournament. He collected the ball on the left flank, used his first touch to nutmeg a Japanese defender, which, on its own, is just disrespectful, then cut inside and angled a shot towards the far post that Suzuki somehow got a hand to and palmed onto the woodwork. The replays are incredible. It's the kind of individual moment that reminds you you're watching a generational talent at the peak of his powers. But Japan weren't done. They regrouped, stayed compact, and trusted their structure. And as the match entered the final 15 minutes, with both teams sensing extra time creeping closer, the tension inside that stadium was unbearable. Moriyaju's men defended brilliantly, making Brazil work for every single touch in the final third. The Japanese supporters inside that ground, and the millions watching back home, dared to believe. And then came the 95th minute. Bruno Guimaraes, who, let's be honest, was Brazil's best player on the night by country mile, picked up the ball in a tight area, turned brilliantly, and threaded a perfectly weighted pass into Gabriel Martinelli's run. Martinelli, so often used as impact off the bench, took 2 touches, composed himself in a moment that would break most footballers, and poked the ball past Suzuki. The goalkeeper got a fingertip to it. The ball clipped the inside of the post and rolled agonizingly over the line. Brazil 2, Japan 1. Final whistle moments later. The comeback was complete. Now let's talk about the man in the dugout, Carlo Ancelotti. After the match, Ancelotti said this was the most complete game Brazil had played at this tournament. And while you can debate that first-half performance, what you cannot debate is his man management. The decision to bring on Martinelli, Endrick, and the attacking reinforcements at the right moment showed the calm, experienced hand of someone who has been in these high-pressure situations countless times at Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, AC Milan, and everywhere else is managed. He may not have all the answers yet, and there are legitimate concerns about his Brazil being tactically predictable and his best 11 still being unclear. But in a knockout tie where the team was staring down early elimination, he kept his nerve and his team responded. That's the Ancelotti way. But I don't want to leave this video without properly paying tribute to Japan, because this team deserves every word of it. There is genuinely not a single football fan on this planet who hates Japan. Not one. You'd be hard-pressed to find anyone, anywhere, who was genuinely rooting against them last night, because there's just something about the way this team plays and carries themselves that wins people over completely. The discipline, the organization, the selflessness, the fighting spirit. This is a team that gives absolutely everything for 90 minutes and beyond, and last night they came so close to pulling off one of the greatest World Cup upsets in recent memory. Kaishu Sono's goal was a moment of real quality, not just a lucky strike. Zion Suzuki in goal was magnificent. That save from Vinícius was one of the stops of the tournament. Tomiyasu and the back three defended with their lives. Ayasu Ueda worked tirelessly up front. And the way the entire team executed Moriyaju's game plan in that first half was just beautiful to watch from a tactical perspective. Japan coach Moriyaju said after the match he was devastated, but that he wants to use this result to become an even stronger team. And you believe him, because that's what Japan does. Every World Cup, they raise the bar a little higher. Japan came into this tournament having come through a tough Group F. They drew with the Netherlands, drew with Sweden, and beat Tunisia 4-0. They arrived at the knockouts with 5 points, organized, confident, and with a squad full of players who compete at the highest level in Europe every week. They held Brazil to 0 in that first half. They scored against Brazil in a World Cup knockout game. They took the game to the 95th minute, and they exit with their heads held as high as any team that went out at this stage. The future for Japan is genuinely exciting. This is a team that, when Kubo returns from injury, when the core of Sono, Kamina, Nakamura, Ueda, and Suzuki are all firing together for another 4 years, could genuinely go deep in the next World Cup. The quarterfinals have so far been Japan's glass ceiling in this competition. They'll be dreaming of smashing through it in 2030. As for Brazil, they move on to face the winner of Ivory Coast versus Norway in the round of 16. And they'd better be significantly better than they were for 60 minutes last night. The concern isn't talent. They have that in abundance. The concern is cohesion. Casemiro looks a step slow. The striker position is still a question mark, with Cunha's quiet nights raising eyebrows. The midfield was non-existent until Guimaraes single-handedly dragged them through. And Ancelotti himself admitted they need to evolve tactically as the competition progresses. Better teams than Japan will make them pay for a slow start, and that's the honest assessment. But for now, Brazil are through. The drama was magnificent, and one thing is absolutely certain. Football at this World Cup is not done surprising us. Drop a comment below. Did you want Japan to pull it off? And let us know what you thought of Martinelli's late winner. Like this video if you enjoyed the breakdown. Subscribe for more World Cup coverage, and I'll see you in the next one.